Hi everybody, I'm Lisa Roberts. I'm the NDP, the Nova Scotia NDP spokesperson on housing, and I'm the MLA in Halifax Needham. Do people at the back hear me? I'm going to hold it a little bit further away and shout a little bit. Hi. Hold it closer. Okay. Let's see if we got this. COVID makes it extra complicated. COVID also makes renters extra vulnerable. That's the fact. Many of you may know that the Nova Scotia NDP we didn't bring it in, we tabled legislation. We introduced legislation in 2017 to bring rent control back to Nova Scotia. And I want to credit Susan LeBlanc, who maybe is still here or maybe had to go, but Susan represents Dartmouth North. In Dartmouth, between the McDonald Bridge and the McKay Bridge, 80% of the residents are renters. 80%. And the vast majority of housing there are privately owned renters. And those people are renters in privately owned buildings. And every single one of them in a province without any rent control is vulnerable. And it is the job of government to protect people who are vulnerable. That is the job of government. When Stephen McNeil or Chuck Porter say that rent control doesn't work, the right question to ask them is, for whom does it not work? Across Canada, those provinces have some version of rent control. Our legislation is based on the rent control legislation in British Columbia. It has a bunch of different little nuances in it, but basically it recognizes that there is no justification for rent going up 15% when inflation is at 1.5. There just is no justification for that. And in fact, and already today we've heard some of the stories that I'm hearing from across the country and even across the world about how real estate is being treated as a financial asset. It's like you can't hold too many gold bars in your bank account or in your safety deposit box. Some people, not renters, feel like you can't have too many condos in your back pocket or too many multi-unit residential buildings. And that is neoliberal capitalism left unregulated by the government that should have your back. This government should have your back because that is the job of government. I want to say that it's also the job of government, many of you know, in Nova Scotia, it's particularly the job of the provincial government, for example, to provide education. Well, I hear from teachers about the impact on students when their families have to move midway through the year because they've had to move because of an increase to their rent. Or this September, I helped a family where their 14-year-old, it was October and he wasn't registered in school yet because they didn't have an address. It's also the job of the provincial government to provide home care. Well, I'm hearing from seniors who once they've paid their rent, they don't have any money for food. How does that work? And seniors are one of the vulnerable groups out there because their incomes are not going up. Their incomes are fixed, and many people are in that situation across this province. I've worked for housing support workers, and shout out to any housing support worker here. They really are doing an impossible job. They're doing an impossible job. The government increased the number of housing support workers but didn't put in rent control and didn't invest in social market housing. How does that work? So we've got housing support workers doing what they have described to me as a soul-crushing job. A soul-crushing job, trying to find apartments for vulnerable Nova Scotians who need support, and they're in the same market as everybody else. They're in the same market as everybody else. I've heard from housing support workers working with victims of domestic violence, where women are choosing to return to environments where they are at physical risk because because they can't find a place to live with their kids. Rent control is the first step. It is not the only step, but it is absolutely necessary. Until we have rent control in Nova Scotia, more investment will come here, which is basically investment that is not going to result in more affordable housing. It's investment that is going to result in greater profit in the pockets of people who already have 1 or 2 or 5 different places in the world where they can live. Rent control will limit the market. It will limit the market. That's okay. We limit the market. We regulate gas prices. We regulate so many different things because we recognize that is the job of government. Housing is a human right. Housing is a human right. And it's a basic human need. And the Nova Scotia government, under the NDP, would work to defend people's human rights, including with rent control. Thank you.